Kits have had some weird issues the last few days, to say the least. And so let me show you this over here. They tried to roll out a new ticket, which was really cool, except for really was not tested to the level it needed to be, and caused a few issues. They've rolled the tickets backwards until they get the issue resolved. Okay? Since they rolled them back, then we were able to activate our stop plugin again on it. Okay? And we have the new stop plugin for the new tickets. We have about 90% done. They rolled it back right before we finished it off. So when they roll it back to the new tickets again, then we ought to be able to have that done probably within a day, 2 days max. Then we'll have the stop plugin working again. It works right now because they rolled the tickets backwards. Okay? And yeah, I think they at the least learned a few lessons on that. One thing that they did realize was an issue is a couple things. One is you need to make sure, Juan brings up one point, but you definitely need to clear out your cache. I usually clear it daily, and all you do is hit Control. I don't care what browser you're using. Hit Control Alt, Control Shift, Delete. Control Shift Delete. Okay, and you can check just these two boxes. All you have to delete, but cached images and cookies. You may even have an issue on our website sometimes. We make a change. You have an old thing stored in there. It can cause all sorts of issues. So make sure you clear that out, and you just hit Clear Browsing Data, and it can take a while depending upon how long it's been. See, you can tell I clear mine often because it's really fast. But you want to clear that out. Any browser you're using, Firefox, Explorer, Chrome, Opera, Safari, whatever it is, clear out your cache. Now, when you clear your cache out, you're going to notice something, and see, it won't work. Why? Because it actually logged me out. So you'll want to close your browser, after you clear out your cache. And I usually recommend you close all of them out, but you could just close the one out that's on there. So let's log back in. And that's all you have to do. Control, Shift, Delete. I don't like using, the only program I use, I don't use CC Cleaner and stuff because a lot of that stuff actually does more than it should, and it can cause problems. Stuff that you don't even know about for a long time. So, the only program I use on my computer is actually ESET. So, it's, I know one of the guys that he actually builds my trading computers for me. He graduated from MIT when he was like 21. And he researched like all the different softwares out there and found the best one, especially for trading computers. And ESET is the name of the program. It's like a McAfee or a Norton or whatever, but it's a lot better. It doesn't block stuff it shouldn't. And can I spell that out? ESET. Literally, ESET. So, and it's awesome. It takes care of itself. It updates itself. It even lowers its usage down to a lower prioritization. So that way it's not using up your processing power. So it's literally perfect for traders. And it's the only one I use on all my trading computers. But anyways, Control Shift Escape. And then the other thing, or Control Shift Delete, I mean. The other thing was, and this was figured out, unfortunately too late by a lot of people, but refresh. So like they didn't have orders showing up in working orders, but if they would have hit refresh, they would have showed up. So refresh is that circle right there, or F5 on any browser you use. Or there'll be some sort of circle, depending upon what browser it is. Could be on the right side, left side, inside the bar, whatever. And that would have made them show up. Okay? But anyway, so those two things are two big things that will help you out a lot. There's also a section, just so you know, inside the website under the forum. Now, this has nothing to do with their tickets. But, let's see. Let's see, it logged me out of Apex. So when you do that, it's going to log you out of whatever you're logged into. So log on back in over here. Go to the forum. And we'll go over to the scanner section. And they're inside the stop trigger plugin. We probably need to make a link just under the tech support section. But see where it says various Google Chrome issues. This will tell you how to fix a lot of issues in Chrome. So first step, clear your cache. Tells you how to check your extensions. Goes through antivirus software that can cause issues. So downloading our plugin, the latest Chrome browser, upgrading your Flash, your Media Player, your QuickTime, your PDF stuff. All the links are right there for you. Flash issues, like if you're getting little crash issues from Flash, this tells you how to fix that, or at least fix it most of the time. Make sure your extensions are up to date. It tells you how to do that. The beta version, and I think they just launched because I have it installed now. But they have a 64-bit now Chrome that you can use, which is pretty sweet. And I've been playing with that. That's been working really well. So if you want to upgrade, it's not a requirement, but if you want to upgrade to the latest 64-bit, you can. And then let's see right here, new Google user profile, which is a complete pain. And you have one, whether or not you think you have one, even if you don't have a Gmail, you have one. Okay? And I went round and round with one guy about this. He's like, I don't have one, da-da-da. We went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And finally, I was like, go here, follow these steps. He followed him. He's like, oh, I do have one. And he just quit. He followed those steps, and it literally fixed all of his problems. And let's see. Okay. Let's see. And then basically these are really updated every day we can find. Some people like CC Cleaner. I'm not really big on it. But anyways, if you like it, then that's awesome. I've also seen people that have not liked it. So I don't know. I haven't had a good or bad experience with it. I've just had so many bad experiences with various softwares that I don't use it. Somebody asked, do I have the blueprint for Firefox? No, because I don't recommend Firefox. Firefox has memory leaks in it. These are very well-known issues. They've been there for like the last 4 releases. So it's very, very inefficient on your memory. Explorer has a lot of security holes in it. Chrome is very secure. Now you can, people go, oh, that's Google and they're spying. You can go in, you can turn off all that stuff. You just go to the settings and you can turn it off where it doesn't track and all that. It's completely in your control. But like Internet Explorer has security issues. Firefox has memory leak issues. So we optimize our site to work with Chrome because it's the fastest and most secure browser. It's not that I'm in love with Chrome or not. It's just, it is. So, okay. So yeah, so we don't have anything for Firefox for you on that. The only thing I have for Firefox would be to update all your, make sure you have the most up-to-date version of Firefox and make sure all of your extensions and video files are updated. Clear your cache, update your version, and do that. And this is a result of probably about like 3 days of research on the internet trying to get every possible. I read through, me and a couple other guys, we went through like all these forums to find every possible problem and narrow down what were the common solutions across the board and then put them together in one nice little list. So, and then let's see. And the one thing on here to go, and the other big reason, of course, we like Chrome. And it's not that we can't make it in the other ones, but is the stop plugin. So if you haven't used the stop plugin, definitely check out that course. You can activate it for free right here to check it out. But it is night and day. For like the 2 days we didn't have it, people were like, they're just so used to having it. And, oh, that's the out of ticket, that's why. Here we go, we'll just do the inside window. But it makes life so much easier because you can go on and you can pull it up and you'd be like, okay, well, I got a buy or sell signal or, whatever. So let's say we're on, I don't know, small cap. Small cap's like way down there right now, isn't it? So I'm going to go down here to, let me see Steven's screen. All right, but yeah, it's just plummeting. So let's say you were in a short. So Steven went short this morning, right here around, I don't know, 11:29 and a half, 11:30, I don't know, somewhere around there. So this is inside the Elite Trade Room, and basically him posting, charts, trades on the charts that he's taken. And we got like 6 traders in there on different instruments posting trades. Just, various numbers based on just who's in that day. But anyway, so he's going short right there. So let's say he's short, and what contract, Steven, what contract did you go short this morning? That was like at 10. So I can probably find it if I scroll back far enough. But my guess, I'm just going to go with my guess on it, unless he pops it in there real quick. My guess is, knowing Steven, he probably just did the master spread. So if I wipe out all the filters, scroll on down, then he probably did, well, probably not did that spread because it's already so far down. So let's just, for pretend, to say he did, I don't know. I'm going to have to make something up to help us out on this, to make it a good example. Let's say he's on this spread right here, 11:15 to 11:45. Okay? And yeah, it says demo. There we go. Switch back over. Okay, so 11:15 to 11:45 spread. And so let's just say he's in that spread at this moment. Okay? And his stop is at like 11:26.3 up at the MVP line, for instance. Okay? So yeah, now you're going to block it, right? So if you go right over here, 11:26, is that 6 or 8? I can't read. 6.3. I'll let's go 11:26.3. So what you can do is actually go to use stop trigger function, click continue. Okay, now this is managing a trade you're already in. And then you say, hey, I want to buy it back if the market, if the indicative there hits 11:26.3. And I can say, do a market offset of, we'll just say $5 above the offer. What that means is if it's going on up, now $5 would probably be a bit much. Let's lower that down. Let's say like 2. Okay? You do 2, 3, 5, 10. You can do whatever you want to. But anyway, so, market offset is like how many ticks above I want this order to be placed. So $5 actually would be 5 ticks. That'd be fine. And then a worst limit, we'll say if 11:26.3, if it go, like, I don't really want to get a worse fill than 11, we'll say 30. I mean, that'd be really high. I'm just throwing out a random number. And it's just saying, like, if it flew up, like, at a certain point, like, you don't care anymore. Don't get me out. I'll manage it myself, or just throw a working order in. But anyway, so he can put that in there. I mean, he can make it, tighter if he wants to. He can make it 11:28, whatever. But I usually put it, about 15 ticks off of the market is my usual, MO on doing these trades. Let's see, what is that? So that's like 5 ticks off the market right now. So if you did 15, that'd be more than enough. Anyway, so he can put that at whatever he wants to, but so if he put it like 11:28, that'd be like 15 ticks off. And so it'll go in, if the market's going up, it'll put it 5 ticks above where the market is, but it won't put an order in higher than 11:28 as a limit order. And if you're doing a buyback, it'll get you in and get you out or in or out, whatever direction you're going there, at the best possible price. So if the market's at 11:26.3 when it hits it, it'll submit 11:26.8 and get you out immediately. Okay, at 11:26.3. It'll get you out at the best price the market was at when that was submitted, but no higher than 11:26.8, if that's where the market was when it hit it. And then if the market just flew, because like some sort of a news announcement come out, the highest limit order it would submit would be, like, say, 11:28. But And then, so as the MVP line changes, as he wants to update their stop, and let's say it moves down a little bit, he can now, like, let's say it's moved down a little bit now, let's say that red MVP, so the minimum volatility predictor line right here, okay? Let's say that's moved on down to 1124. Then he can literally put this at 1124. So, but if he added 1126.3 and it activated it, then it's working. And he's like, you know, I need to edit this. I'm going to make this 1124. Now, he may or may not want to adjust his worst limit, but like maybe he's going to make this now 1126. Okay? Just be careful on that worst limit, because that's what you're saying is, I don't care how fast and high it goes, I don't want you to submit a limit order higher than that. Doesn't mean you're going to get filled in anything. It just means that it's going to submit a limit order. So if it pops up to 1130, like in a heartbeat, then it's going to submit 1128. Obviously, you're not going to get filled on 1128 if the market flies up to 1130. And this is how stop limits work on everything. This isn't unique to Nadex, so it's just your understanding what a stop limit is a little bit better. This is, we call it a stop trigger, because technically it's not a stop limit sitting at an exchange, but it's right there on your computer. You can put it on top, let it work. Once you've edited it, you know, you can hit activate stop trigger, and then it'll activate. Okay? And now it'll be working for you, and you don't have to manage that. You just basically check back every once in a while and update the price. You can do the same thing for entries. So let's say I wanted to go long. If the market hit 11.21, we'll say 0.56. Oh, let's already hit 56. 0.58. Let's see if it's going to move too fast on me. There we go. Yeah, price is too close. It's just rounding off. So since this is in whole numbers, we got 0.4, 0.5. Okay? And this is demo. But so now if we can get it to pop up to 1121.5, you know, which sort of hope it doesn't, right? Because he's short. So, but it will automatically trigger and fire off the order. Let's see here if it'll move a couple ticks for us. 4, and there it goes. Submitted. So submitted the order at 1126. That's what we had typed in there. Put it in and put the order in. And we got filled. Notice we submitted an order at 1126, but we got filled at 1122.8. So, and I'm using the, okay, so a good question that comes up by Jeff is, are you following the same Apex entry rules, but using spreads rather than future pricing? I'm following the same Apex entry rules. I'm using the exact same prices on the chart, even though I'm using spreads. Exact same rules. The only difference is I'm adding that offset in, okay? And I'm using the stop trigger. But, I mean, all my prices are still the same. I just need to account for when I see that proximity, make sure that, you know, I'm aware of that. So when it hits 1126, it may be like 10 ticks away, or 5 ticks away, or 3 ticks away because there's some premium in there. And so I want to make sure I account for that. I talk about that a little bit more in the spread stop trigger plugin video. And then, of course, let's say I'm in that trade to go, you know, long or short or whatever. I go in. By the way, I'm not placing. This is a demo trade. I'm just doing this for example. So I hope nobody's placing these trades for any other reason than this. But let's say I wanted to have a stop loss sitting at, you know, 1120. We'll just say 1120. We'll just say 1121. We'll make it really tight. Okay, and I hit place order. Then now, that would automatically get me out as a sell. It would be a trigger stop, right? So the problem is, if you try to go and put a stop loss in, you're putting in a stop order. And if you're putting a limit order, if I put a limit order below the market, what's it going to do? It's going to fill me at that price or better. If the price is higher, it's going to get me out automatically. So if I were to do a stop trigger, what's cool is like right there, I had to be there and I had to submit it when it happened. But if I do it the other way, if I go in and we'll flip this back to a buy real quick and throw the trade on. Okay? And then now we'll use the stop trigger function instead. So you can actually use a little stopwatch icon right next to it. And then I go, okay, so I want to get out if the market hits 11.19. And I don't want to worse than 11. We'll just say, I don't know, 17. And set it, we'll just say, 15 ticks off the market. Okay? And then I hit activate stop trigger. Now if it goes down and hits that, then it'll get me out of the trade. So I don't have to, you still aren't, you don't just walk away. I'm not saying you put this on and set and forget. Because obviously you're going to want to cancel the order out because you may end up taking profit. But what happens if you're looking at another chart? If you go to the bathroom for a second, if you answer the phone, okay? You can miss your entry, you can miss your exit, you can miss your stop loss and end up taking on a larger loss. You can end up giving back a ton of profit. You can miss out on one of the greatest profitable trades of the day because you looked away from the screen for a split freaking second. If you're using this on binaries, you bought a binary at, say, 75, and you had a stopwatch to hit when the strike was hit at about 50, and you missed it, it could cost you $50. So, the stop plugin the demo is free. Okay, the scanner is free to use, but the stop plugin, to use it on demo is free. To use it on live, you have 3 choices. You can use it as a standalone. It's $50, okay? Or you get it free to use on live with the P3 or the Elite subscription. Okay? But I definitely suggest, especially if you're demo trading right now, hop in and start using it because it makes a world of difference. It feels like you're going back to the Stone Age when you're not using it. And then I can just close it out. I can edit it, if you ever wonder if you have, so I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Let me show you this. So I'm going to close out over here. But if you ever wonder if you have a ticket open, there's a really helpful function. Let me open a couple tickets up. Alright, so I got 3 tickets open. You can go over to Nadex, and right here, they have this ticket function that shows you all your tickets that are out there. So if you weren't sure if you had one, you can find it. And it'll bring it to the forefront for you. So you can get rid of them. Because it can be easy to accidentally leave it behind the screen. There's a program that we show you how to download where you can pin stuff so stuff doesn't get stuck behind the screen. And I'll show you where that is. But just in case you're not sure or maybe you didn't click the button and you just want to double check, just go over to Structure. You can use that ticket button. But go to Structure, go to Free Trading Software Tools, and then there is a program, the Filebox Extender program right here. So click on that, and it'll take you directly to the link, the download link. And it is very, very helpful. You can pin your charts on top if you want to, which can be sort of tricky because then you can get stuff trapped on accident. But you definitely, for pinning those tickets, it's huge. But there's even a thing where you can make stuff shrink, and also there's a lot of little functions to it. Okay. Let's see here. So, yeah, Caleb, you can shadow what I'm doing on demo, but I'm doing it on demo. I'm not even looking at a chart really for doing it. I'm just throwing some trades up there to show you how to use the scanner, how to use the plugin, okay? I just don't want people placing live trades. Question that comes up in the forum. Why would you worry about, so we hop on back over here, why would you worry about placing a stop limit? Got the message. Okay. Because what if you go in here and let's say you're short, okay? And so you have a stop trigger to buy back, and the ceiling on this spread, let's say, is 11.31, okay? Let's say the market goes up to 11. like you're saying, well, get me out if it hits 1123, okay, or whatever. Whatever trade it is that you're trying to do. Would you want to get out if it was 1 point away from the ceiling, like as a stop loss? If there's $10 left in the spread, and the market just flew, because here's what it's going to do. When you say trigger price, okay, so when you say the trigger price, let's say the trigger price is 11.26, and you say market offset of, let's say, 5, okay, or 10 or 15 or whatever you use, let's say 10 to make it easy, then, and it helps a lot if you use the explain feature. So definitely good to go back and review that course, even if you've watched it already. But you can hit explain right here. It'll say when the indicative rises to 11.26 or more, okay, automatically sell limit contract at, sell or buy a little contract at $10 below current bid price. So depending upon where you're starting at. So it's going to put it below it because it's at this price or higher, right? Because it's not going to sell higher than the market. So let's go back over at $10 below the current bid price. Again, do you want to get out of the trade? Depending upon what direction you're going. If we go, it'll probably be better to say if we were long, we'd go short. So let's say we were down here at 11.20. It's not even a good example. Basically, at what point is it not worth you ever getting out of the trade again? Let me give you a binary example to be a little easier. You buy a contract at $75. You want to get out at, say, approximately 50 when it hits the strike. What if the market flies really fast, or you're in the last, 4 minutes, and, in the last 4 minutes, I think you go from 50 to 10 in, a heartbeat, right? Would you want to get out of the trade if there was only $5 or $10 left in the binary contract if you're trying to get out at 50? Or would you rather just take your chances going into the last 3 minutes? Or, what's the worst price you'd be okay with submitting an order at? And if you don't get an order at that, then you're okay if you don't get filled at all. Either fill me at this price or don't fill me at all. So what is that worst price you're willing to take? Otherwise, you could end up taking a 70 or 60. You could take a $75 hit, or at least a $74 hit, because it's going to place it 10 below where the market's at, or 10 above where the market's at. It's not placing it at 11.26 or at 11.21 or whatever. It's placing it at 10 below where the market's at that price, because you don't know where the market's going to be at. So we can't make it the spread price. It's a derivative. I mean, you can know, but you have to do a lot of math. So what it's doing is saying wherever the market's at, whenever the indicative gets here, then place my order at this many ticks off of where the market's currently trading, and then go. But if that's below this price, just leave me in, unless you can fill me at this price. And so it'll submit at a worst, it'll submit at that price. So if I said buy a binary contract and I bought it at 75, I put a stop loss when it hits the price, and I said at, say 10 takes off. So it'll submit it at 40, if it gets down there right around 50, and get me out real quick. But I was if you can't fill me for at least 30 or 25 or whatever number you want to use, then don't get me out. If the market flies from 50 down to 10 in 2 ticks, so fast the order can't even go off, I don't want you to submit me at 10 ticks below 10 or 10 ticks below 25. It's don't submit me, submit me 15 ticks below where the market is or 10 ticks below where the market is, but no lower than, say, $30. So it's your worst price. I hope that makes sense. Got it? So yeah, and you even want to use that for your entries. What if you put in a buy to buy when it breaks 3 ticks above the high, but you're if it goes higher than this, I really don't want to be in the trade. Or at least I'll accept that. It's not that I want this price, but I don't want this trade if I can't get at least this price. Now that won't mean it cancels the trade. It means what it'll do is it'll submit it at that worst limit, worst case scenario. That's what it'll submit it at. And this really makes trading on Nadex a whole lot easier. But and then we also have the minimum bid sizes on here, which is really helpful, because what if the book gets wiped out? There's no quote. You just get a horrible quote. Or somebody comes in and makes a really bad quote or whatever. So you're just saying I don't want any surprises. Either I don't want to get filled at all, or I want to get filled at this price, worst case scenario. And so yeah, you can definitely do it for entering a trade, but I guarantee it makes just as much sense for exiting a trade. So let me use a binary example for you. Okay, so if we go up here to binary, and we'll just randomly buy in the money contract. Let's say we buy this contract for $70. Okay, so we hop in that trade, click close. Okay, the trade's on. And I'm like, all right, well, if it gets down to the strike I sold, I want to get out of the trade. And let's do an offset of $10. Okay, so if the market's at 50, get me out at 40. If the market's at 40, get me out at 30. If the market's at 20, get me out at 10. Okay, so that's what that $10 offset means. So whatever the bid is at, then submit an order for $10 less than that. And it ought to get me, ideally, at a better price than I submit. But I'm going to say, you know what? If the market gets down to 25, I'd rather just don't submit it for less than 25. So if the market flies, so I'm going to turn it on there. If the market flies, it doesn't end up getting me out at $5. Like, screw it. I'd rather be in for the $5. I'm pretty much pot committed, almost at that point, So that's why you'd use it. You're like, I'd rather submit an order at 25 and let the market oscillate around and maybe knock me out there than end up submitting an order at $5 because I'd just be really pissed if I got out at that price. Like I would have rather just wrote it out. All right, any questions on the stop entry? That's how to enter a spread, exit a spread, enter a binary, exit a binary. And obviously you can see the major benefits there. So let's move it on down. Come on. I hope it keeps going down since we're short. Maybe it'll trigger our stop forcing to sort of see it. Just a few more ticks. Come on. It's going to make it difficult a little bit further. Come on, you can do it. Keep going. Yeah, see, it's still flowing. There we go. Almost there. Let me just edit it to try to get it closer. But as soon as I hit edit, it's going to fly down and I'm going to miss it. Wait. 6. There we go. It has to be one tick off. And the tick is what it actually, like, see the contract where it's 1120.2? There we go. So fired off. See, the market was at 49, so it submitted it at 39. And then we can go through and pull the history, and we probably got filled like right around $49. But if it would have been even further, it would not have submitted me for less than 25. And so that one trade right there, I mean, if you missed the trade, could have cost you a fortune on that. Let's see if this will work. Use this that much, so it'll be easy to find the history. 731. Yeah. See? So you saw that we submitted the order at $39, but look where it got us out at $49. Okay? Which is good. If you're selling, you want to sell higher, right? So what it did is it put it lower just to make sure, because I'm sure you've been there where you get in and you put an order to get out, and then it goes into your working, and you're like, and then you go edit it, and you keep chasing the thing, and it's like 5, 10, 20, 30. Like, and your profit's gone or your loss is growing. So by putting it at 39, by doing that $10 offset, you're basically trying to eliminate a working order from happening. You want to get out or you want to get in. But you want to have a little bit of a limit on what that actually is, too. So this will completely change how you trade DataX if you use it. It's something I wanted for years that we finally got built. The plugin actually is just cross-browser talking. So we do have an API program we're building. So once we get permission to release it, but we do have one we're building. But this has we're using some of the functions on there. So it's talking from this browser to connect it. So it's all on your computer. Nobody else can see your orders or anything, which is actually a pretty cool advantage. Nobody can see your order. So, nobody can hunt down that order. Yeah, we're doing it for Ninja. We have a trailing stop tool we're making. We're feeding in. We already got the strike template done for feeding in all the strikes. And yeah, we're going to make it where you can trade off a Ninja. And not only trade off a Ninja, but do DOMs off a Ninja, do trailing stops off a Ninja, do OCOs off a Ninja. So, that's all the stuff we're working on right now. And we're not incredibly far from that. It'll be, I want to say this year, it'll be faster than the end of the year. But I don't see any reason why it won't be. We have to wrap up a couple other pretty urgent projects. And once those are done, then we're going into full-on development of essentially not only Ninja integration, but early next year, we're even looking at potentially our own Nadex platform that we're going to make and release. So, from a trader's perspective, and they have the new platform out. It's not out because it's not public yet. But yeah, we're gonna. It was not made by traders. It was made by programmers, and it's not. It's a bit cumbersome. So it's basically everything we make are things that I want as a trader, or that other traders ask me for as a trader. So it's all trader driven. Everything we develop is trader driven. It's not about marketing. It's like, this will help me make more money trading. If it'll help me, it'll probably help you. Cool. Let's share the cost because we got all these programs we got to pay to make all this stuff. So, but we're always developing. But if you haven't done it yet, make sure to watch the. We redid the scanner menu. We're going to be re-updating the menu, by the way, and making it a lot cleaner. We're always trying to make it better. There's so much stuff on here. We're always trying to clean it up. But there's the scanner plugin courses. So there, right there, just watch that plugin course, and it'll explain it to you. And again, activate it free here. By the way, when you activate it or subscribe to it, you don't have to download anything. It's automatically done. So it's already in the plugin. It has to authorize it. So as soon as you have access, either through P3, Elite, paid subscription, or a trial, then on the demo, it'll automatically work. There's nothing more for you to do. Okay? And there's no credit card or anything for the trial. You just activate it and its demo works.